Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire.
And tonight we're talking about this past Tuesday's episode of
The Flash! Season 7, Episode 5. Fear me.
Dun, dun, dun. Great episode.
Yes.
I mean, I was kind of... I was, like, excited for a lot of the moments,
Yeah.
but then I was, like, bored at the same time.
There were parts where it was kind of off, where I'm like, what's going on?
Like, why should I care?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, to me, there were some points that were boring. Like, I don't know. I was just like, okay. I'm not gonna check my phone strictly because I have to do a review.
I liked the humor in it.
Yes. I loved it. I loved the back and forth between Caitlin and Snow. And Frost, I'm sorry. Frost and Snow. Whatever.
Frost and Katie.
I mean, Caitlin Snow.
But she calls her Katie.
I just... Does this mean that Danielle gets more money because she's in it twice as much?
I don't think so.
Like, because she's two characters now. So for half the show...
Well, technically Barry is two characters too.
He gets to put on a mask and run around. He's not two actual, completely different characters. It's still him.
Well, I mean, technically, she just puts on blue lipstick and eye makeup.
No, because there's physically two of them.
Yeah.
There's not physically two of Barry.
Yeah, true.
Barry just throws on a suit and runs around.
Right. I don't know.
It's like saying there's two of Clark because he takes off his glasses. Like,
she probably does. I don't know. I think they all probably get an equal amount of pay.
yeah. But I just mean, like, now they're going to have to film half the episode with Caitlin and then half the episode with Frost.
They have the technology.
I know, but, like, I don't, like, that's just, I don't know. It just seems like it's going to take twice as long.
We have the technology. We can rebuild him. Faster. Stronger. Dun 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 dun! Da 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 da.
I can't even right now. I can't.
Sorry. Nobody will know what I'm talking about unless they're like, they've seen that show.
So,
I'm sure they've heard the theme song though. Because they used to use that for the AOL man in the commercial for AOL. And it was, yeah, like for the speeding little yellow man, they were like, we can rebuild him faster, stronger. And it was like the, you know, little like yellow AOL man going super fast. Whoosh. And they played that dialogue in the commercial.
But yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. Like, I know we're able to do it. It's just,
I know.
So much more extra work for them and for her. And I don't know. Like, I'm worried because, I mean, she just had a kid.
She did.
And now she's gonna be at work twice as long. Like,
there's a lot of women who go back to work only like a few months after giving birth.
Right.
To their
Like,
kid.
and I'm not saying...
She probably had a long break because of everything that happened with the
yeah, but
shutdowns.
like what I'm saying is she's gonna be working twice as long each day. She's gonna be, you know, like her work schedule just doubled.
Unless she's not prominent in the episode. You know, because there are episodes where like she's not
where Caitlin doesn't show up or Frost doesn't.
Right.
Or both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
I mean, for actors, for like Candace and Grant, they're in practically every scene in every episode.
Right.
So they're doing the long hours and they're always there.
Yeah.
But Danielle's not always there.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, is she going to want to keep doing that?
Yeah. I mean...
Like, and it's gonna be the same, like, she's already acting that scene out.
They might find a way to fuse them again.
They might find a need to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like, I like that they're gonna be separate. I want to see the dynamic. Because neither of them have ever had an actual sister. They've always just shared a brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I doubt that...
Especially, too, because, like, one of the episodes coming up is The People versus Killer Frost.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, is sharing an apartment together? Like, I know that they shared a brain and that when Caitlin let Frost take over, she probably did all of her whatevers, you know, and, like, left dishes unclean, you know, whatever would piss Caitlin off, right. You know, I'm sure. But now they actually have to physically deal with each other in those situations. And I don't know, like, I feel like it's gonna be hilarious.
Oh, it is.
Because, I mean, all Caitlin was able to do before is yell at Frost in the mind. Now it's like, no, they can straight up have a verbal, like, physically verbal conversation and yell at each other and slam doors and throw shit and freeze shit. Like, I'm just like, damn, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But...
Or is it intended?
Right? Oh boy. But, you know, it's just...
There's nothing wrong with the pun being intended.
No, there's not. But I don't know, just, like, I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But there's only so long that shtick can really...
Yeah. I mean, it all just depends on, like, you know, maybe she brings a kid with her. Maybe her husband watches it.
Right. But, like, also, like, they're doing the same scene. Mm-hmm. Like, Caitlin already has to film that scene multiple times as Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And then she has to come in and do the exact same scene multiple times as Killer Frost. I mean, I know it's different dialogue, but you're having someone say the dialogue to you in place of your other character so that you know when to insert your lines for that character.
Right.
You know, like... So, she's going to be running the same exact scene so many times each time she's there, whenever they're both together. And I don't know. Like, she has to get the timing down perfectly when they're frustrated and look at each other.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, what they probably do is they probably just put when they edit it, they probably just put the
but I mean,
together.
like verbally, like one of them's frustrated, goes, ugh! Yeah. And then you have, like, the other one that's, like, talking. You can't speed up the vocals.
Right.
Because we would be able to know.
Yeah.
So then, like, the reaction it all has to be timed perfectly. If you cut that off, whether or not you have the technology to slow it down or speed it up, it doesn't matter if it's the vocal difference. So, it's like, that's going to be a lot of retakes.
Yeah. Unless they have her go in and do the, what's it called? ADR or whatever, where, like, you loop your dialogue.
Yeah. But she still has to say it. She still has to get it down. And, like, if they go in to slap each other, like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not really sure the whole process.
Right. But, like, I'm just saying, like, there's parts of scenes with those two that would take so many takes, no matter how many doubles or, like, what technology you have.
Right.
There are going to be moments that you can't technology or double your way out of.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that there's a lot more of those moments than we actually would think there are.
Yeah, there probably is.
And, like, I know she enjoys playing both characters, but I'm kind of worried that we might lose one or both.
I mean, if we did have to lose one, I'd rather lose Caitlin than Killer Frost.
That's so mean, but
because
same.
she's more of an interesting character.
Yeah, Caitlin's never really had much or anything.
And I'm not trying to say that Danielle doesn't deserve to be there, that she's a bad actress or anything. I just think Killer Frost is more interesting.
Right, and it's the same person, so.
And it's still Danielle, but I just think she's more fun to see.
Yeah,
and more,
it's just before we kill her off, I want to deal with her family. With her mom having frost powers and her dad's probably not dead.
I think Frost will be around for a while. I don't think that she's going to be killed.
No, but I'm kind of worried about them going off on a vacation to the other side of the world, you know.
I mean, what they could do too is, like I was saying, because you were saying, you know, it's a lot of takes. What they could have her do is they could have her go in as Caitlin in a scene, if, you know, they're both supposed to be in the scene. And then, like, later she could come in, either they could, like, use it, like, just, you know, use what she has and then, like, find a way to edit it to make it so that, like, it just has to be the one thing. Or she would go in and, like, you know, base her expressions off the looks of, you know, Frost or whatever and the dialogue, and then, like, play off it that way instead of having to do multiple takes of something. Because I think there is a way that they can do that without it having to be multiple takes.
Well, I mean, like, what they did tonight when they both walked into the same room with all of them there. With Cisco, Barry, and Iris all there. Right? Well, they need the same movement and everything.
Maybe they just copy it. Maybe they just... I don't know. Like, maybe they have her dress up as Frost and then copy her movements and then, you know...
I mean, I know that one of them was a double when they walked in together and, you know, stuff like that. But when you zoom in close to their face and they're both talking, and then you zoom out, like...
Yeah. I'm not really sure how they do it.
I don't know.
We'd have to, like... Maybe she's talked about it in an interview before or something.
Yeah, but they've never been separated before. So they've talked about it.
But I mean, maybe, like, if she does a new interview or, like, a recent one and she's asked about the process of that, she would explain it.
Yeah.
Because I know there is something that they do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're trying to make it as easy as possible.
Right. And, you know, I think one of the reasons why Caitlin was so, like, avid about wanting Frost back isn't just because she's, like, scared because of the silence, but even though it wasn't her, it was still her.
Yeah.
Going out, fighting, saving the world. Like, she was still there.
Hunting things.
The family business. But, you know, like, she was still there. She was actively part of that.
Right.
Like, she got to experience it, whether or not it was technically, quote-unquote, her body going through it.
Yeah.
Like, she was there. She was able to help. She gave pointers. Like, I don't know. If Cisco got hurt on the battlefield, she could run up and have Caitlin telling her what to do. You know, like, that... Like, that was something they could do together. And now, Caitlin's gonna have to get used to sitting in the chair again.
Yeah.
And watching, and just hoping everything turns out okay.
Right.
And off goes Killer Frost. By herself. Like, if Frost gets hurt, like, Caitlin can't be there for her to tell her it's okay until she's there. She can talk to her through the earpiece, but it's not... I know it's being, like, talking to her in her head because the earpiece and whatever, but she's not there, you know? If she was still in Frost's head, then she'd still be there, you know? It's, like, a different. And I don't know, like, I think that Caitlin's gonna miss being active more than she thinks she is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I wasn't expecting Nora.
Me either. I don't think anybody was expecting Nora. She literally fell
I know, right?
from the freaking ceiling after all the different colors of lightning again that we saw.
Well, at least now we know why we've been seeing them.
Yeah.
So when Barry recreated the Speed Force, she was reinvigorated and became the Speed Force again.
Yeah.
Like, he revived her.
Revived Mama.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. It's just... My mind is spinning with other things I want to talk about Nora, but, like, my mind's spinning with what Flash saw and Cecile.
Well, yeah, freaking Cecile, the bubble of courage. She was sitting in the thinker's chair. She was in Barry's mind. She's badass and awesome, and I love her.
Yes. But I have fundamental issues with the colors of everything.
They're not going off Green Lantern.
Green Lantern is canon in this universe. John got the ring in Arrow.
Yeah.
Therefore, the Lantern Corps exists. And the Lantern Corps is based off of the fundamental colors of each emotion.
Yeah.
So therefore...
So what's yellow?
Fear! And purple is love!
You'd think that fear would be, like, black.
That's death.
What's green?
Will.
And purple's love. And red is what? Rage?
Yeah. Like anger, rage.
Okay, that makes sense. Blue is usually, like, calm, like...
Mm-hmm.
Because blue represents that.
Yeah.
Color.
Or
that color represents calmness.
Right.
And peace.
Orange is... Orange, I think, was kind of like the trickster type person-ish. There's only ever one Orange that I've ever seen. And he was very trickster-like and thought very highly of himself.
Green, red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet, white, and black.
Mm-hmm.
So it's avarice. This power is mine. This is my light. Be it in bright of day or black of night, I lay claim to all that falls within my sight. To take what I want, that is my right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like steel stuff.
Hope is blue.
Yeah.
Compassion.
Love is the pinkish. Okay, so purple is compassion. I got purple and like magenta. Magenta and purple
white,
got mixed up.
White
Imagine
is
that.
life.
Yeah. See, I knew there was like a magenta-ish color,
so yeah,
but I couldn't remember.
Represents it there.
Yeah.
There.
So fear is supposed to be yellow, and hope is supposed to be purple.
Be blue.
Or blue. Why did I say hope? It's what?
It says mercy.
Mercy is purple?
Mercy, compassion.
Okay, yeah,
Same
compassion
thing.
is supposed to be purple. So I am like so confused on why fear was purple and freaking and like
because love,
courage.
Because
was
fear
yellow.
is the opposite of love, isn't it?
I thought it was like the opposite of hope.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's probably more. Makes more sense. Hate is the opposite of love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I know that it exists within this universe, but maybe they're not going off the lantern colors for the lightning. They're probably
But-
going off the colors for like the Speed Force.
But they're not part of the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Like, Nora said they're like me, not that they represent the Speed Force.
Yeah. So one of them represents the psychic force. One of them represents, you know,
The Strength Force or whatever.
mhm.
Fierce, whatever. But, like,
Well, we know the yellow lightning is berries, right?
yes. That's something that the previous writer put in, but the lightning color isn't supposed to represent what flashes what. Lightning color is supposed to represent how fast you're going. But because the original writer for the Flash doesn't know shit about comics, that's what they went with.
I mean,
That's why
isn't lightning like kind of a golden color anyway, or is it white? Like actual lightning.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what type of lightning. It depends on how fast it's moving. That's what determines the color of lightning. And that's also what determines the color of lightning for the Flash, is how fast they're going. Not, Barry's the Flash, so he's
Speed of
yellow.
lightning. Speed of lightning.
Right, speed of light, speed of lightning. But, like, that's why I was a little annoyed when they went by color for Barry back in the beginning. Like, I mean, he was red originally, but then he kind of went yellow. It's like, that's, like, how it's supposed to be, that gradual,
like it's
color
kind of a
difference.
red-yellow lightning. Like
yeah.
It's a mix of both.
Yeah. But most of the red now is just because of the color of the suit.
Yeah.
But, like...
But I mean, sometimes it's like
Nora's
he's going
color...
really fast and they're showing all of the lightning as he's going, as he's
there's
running.
Some red tinge
There
to
is
it.
red in it.
Yeah. But, like, how Iris had a color, and then, like, Nora's color was mixed with the color of Iris's and Barry's, and it was a mixture of the two colors. Like, that's not how the fuck that shit works.
Right.
But they had to do it like that because that's how the original people wrote that lightning works.
Right.
But that's not how that works. The Flash lightning is supposed to work this way, but now it works this way in this universe. But they never really specified as to why each Flash has a certain color lightning. And I would love to know why Barry's color is this, why Iris's color was this, why Nora's color was both of theirs. Don't tell me it's hereditary color, that's BS. Like, it has to do with some sort of emotion or, like, something within them. Like, tell me that. Yeah. And then explain to me that way. Because everything that has to do with color like this in the DC universe that I've seen is an emotional spectrum. Like,
I mean, because his mask was purple, maybe that's probably why they were having it just, like, everything about it be purple. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, your mask could be purple, you could have different color eyes, different color lightning field.
True.
Or psychic field, whatever.
I don't know why they went with that.
Because now it's like, okay, well, wasn't there green lightning that shot out too? Right? There was a little bit of, like, it was just, like, tinged green.
Was there, like, yellow, blue, and purple?
Okay, yellow, blue, and purple.
Or, like, yellow, blue, and red?
There was a purple. There was a purplish. Because the Earth that had that had Cisco's first girlfriend, their Flash's color was purple. I think he was, like, called the Accelerated Man or something.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a purple color for the Flash. But in the, like, when you're talking about, okay, so I need to know if psychic field colors are the same as speedster flash colors
Mm-hmm.
if they're just determined by the person. Like, is Cecile's field always going to be yellow? Is Sykes' field always going to be purple, whether or not he's showing fear?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that the color that they are represented by? Why was Cecile's eyes green and yellow? Confuse me. Because, like, when I first saw that, I was like,
Well, wasn't the green from the girl who, like, tapped into her memories that...
Top?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't she have green eyes?
I don't know if Top had green eyes, but there was nothing to do with Top in this episode.
No, but, like, didn't what she did kind of accelerate Cecile's powers, like, make them stronger because of what Top did?
No. Top didn't do anything to access Cecile's powers. Cecile's always been holding back.
Oh, okay.
Because she's scared.
Okay.
And this is the first time she's really let loose. And we're seeing green and yellow in her eyes, and that just
Right.
makes me curious as to why the green.
No, I know. I was just...
Right. But, like, is the green representative of her psychic ability and the yellow representative of courage? Or what's going on here? Because I need to know what the colors represent
I
here.
like to think that yellow represents courage, at least like a golden yellow, which is what that bubble was.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could call it gold bubble, not a yellow. That would make me happy.
When I think of courage, I think of the Cowardly Lion, and he's golden colored,
Mhm.
and he gets courage.
Yeah.
I know that's totally, like, not even related, but...
Yeah.
I can see yellow being, like, golden yellow being courage.
Mhm. Yeah. But, I don't know, in this universe, whether or not it's specified on the Flash, I need to know what the colors represent now.
Yeah.
Because you've already brought, I know it's not this writer, but you've already brought the Lantern Corps into this universe.
You've already established it, so you need to, like, explain it now.
Yeah. Because we have the Lantern Corps in this universe, it is established, and it is a fundamental representation of color with emotion. Mm-hmm. So this shit needs to get handled now, since we're seeing emotion mixed with color. Like, it bugs me to no end, obviously, because of how much each Lantern Corps represents, like, what they do and what the colors represent is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like, they are the intergalactic police. And we need to know what color mean what. Like, okay, John has a green ring. Does green not mean willpower anymore?
I like green. Well, it depends on whatever universe it is. But, like, green can mean different things. Green can mean frustration. It can mean disgust. It can mean...
Well, yes. But in the DC universe, green is willpower.
I know.
And in Brightest Day and Darkest Night, let no evil escape my sight.
Yeah.
Come on! It is green and willpower, okay.
So, I mean, yellow usually represents, I know that in this case it represents fear, but, like, yellow typically is, like, a happy color that represents, like, happiness or, like, because it's a bright color, and usually bright colors are, like, positive, happy colors. And so, like, orange and yellow usually represent that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it doesn't.
No, it kind of goes backwards on the spectrum.
But I mean, isn't avarice, like, courage?
No.
For orange?
No, they're self-centered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're self-centered, they, like, steal, like, that's mine, I want it. Like, they're very cunning and trickster-like, so that they can get what they want. But as far as I know, there's technically only... I've only heard of one lantern that's orange. And when I say that, I mean one person wearing an orange lantern ring. Because he stole all the other ones and keeps them for himself. Because he doesn't want... He wants there to be only one. He's like, no, these are mine. And that's very orange. But is that what Orange represents now? Like, now the colors of the lantern rings are brought into question.
We need that explained.
Mm-hmm. And I know that this dude that writes The Flash now is like a comic nerd. And he knows how important colors are. So he needs to explain his shit.
Yeah.
That bothered me more than I thought it did.
Yeah.
I had to get it off my chest.
That's what the reviews are for.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, his, the hallucinations that he saw that would freak me out too.
Yeah, especially that final one, like, you killed our babies.
Our children. She said children.
But that, like, means that she died pregnant.
That's probably one of his fears.
I know, but like, because he said Fierza or whatever the shit her name is.
Right? Strong in Spanish.
Yeah.
Or strength in Spanish.
Yeah, whichever one it is. Killed them. So I would be led to believe that's this season.
They're not gonna do the pregnancy this season.
I know, but like,
it will probably be season 8.
Mm-hmm. Well, she can be pregnant. She can find out that she's pregnant.
Hey, if this season is a season where we don't see any like closeness with them, like kissing wise or any of that kind of stuff, how
they just did a lot of romantic trips together that we did not get to see on screen. Romantic getaway trips.
I don't know. I feel like the consequences of the mirror universe need to be addressed before she gets pregnant.
She can address them with her hormones.
I mean, I can see them having her get pregnant in like the last half of the season or the finale or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, not now, not right now.
But it would progress and continue into season 8.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, like she finds out she's like maybe a month pregnant or something, maybe a month and a half.
I don't know how many episodes this season is going to be, considering when it started.
Right.
So.
But yeah, like.
It was so creepy at the beginning with Cecile, though. How it kept, like, inching forward. They do that stuff in horror movies.
Yeah.
I was like.
Well, it was a fear power. So.
I know, but I was like,
I was like, this is cool. I grew up watching horror movies.
Yeah, but you don't like horror movies.
I do.
You just don't like to watch them.
No. I love horror movies, but I won't watch them anymore. I
like them to an extent. It depends on the movie.
This is how I bonded with my aunt and uncle.
It depends on the horror movie. I don't like all horror movies. There's a lot of them that are really lame and stupid, and I don't like them. But the older ones tend to be better.
They tend to be funny.
Exorcist isn't even scary. Sorry.
No.
I literally sat there watching that, and I'm like, I thought it was boring. Because the majority of the movie is dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
They spend half the movie trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with her. And then once they do, we have to exorcise this demon. So they get a freaking Catholic priest to come and exorcise the demon out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no action.
No.
It's all dialogue.
Yeah.
It's boring as hell. It's not even scary.
No.
It's not. Maybe when it came out in the 70s, it was considered the scariest movie of all time. But it's not anymore.
No.
At least not to me.
Right. Maybe the people who grew up watching
I feel like The Shining is scarier than The Exorcist, just because it's more psychological. Because it's like, it's horror, but it's like the psychological kind of horror that like gets in your head.
Right.
And like that stuff is more creepy. Because like your mind can like play tricks on you.
Right.
So, and it's Stephen King. And so he's like the essential horror person. And I mean, the movie wasn't directed by him, but the book is by him.
Right.
And so, I like The Shining, but Exorcist I didn't like. Poltergeist had some creepy moments in it, especially because the faces of the ghosts looked really scary. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But other than that, I don't really watch horror movies as much.
Yeah.
Even Psycho, I was like, I was not allowed to watch this movie all these years, and then I see it, and the shower scene, I'm like, that's it.
It's
That's
like, here's
it.
Johnny, and it's like,
she's only in the movie for like the first 20 minutes. She freaking gets stabbed. And that's it. The rest of the movie is spent trying to figure out the fact that this guy is pretending to be his mother and going around killing people because he's psycho. He's a psychopath. So, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting movie. It's just, like, that scene wasn't scary.
Right.
So, The Birds creeps me out way more than Psycho does.
Yes!
Seriously.
Yes.
The Birds is creepy. Okay.
I cannot look at a group of birds.
That movie, I can't. After I saw it the first time, I was walking home, and there were birds flying over, and they were making the sounds that they made in the movie, and I thought they were going to come down and peck my head. And kill me.
Peck your eyes out.
Yes. I was freaked out.
For a couple years after I first saw that movie, every time I saw, like, a flock of birds or just, like, a bunch of birds hanging out on a telephone line or on the grass or whatever, even, like, I'm in my car in a drive-thru at Starbucks going, don't fucking look at me, don't fucking look at me. Like, 2 or 3 years after having seen it.
Yep.
Like, I'm still, like...
It stays with you.
It does. Like, I mean, it's been maybe 10 years since I've seen it.
I would rather watch Psycho over The Birds because...
I want to see The Birds right now.
Every time The Birds, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't.
I want to watch it again soon. I do. I want to see it again. Do I just want to torture myself?
Maybe you're a narcissist.
Maybe.
Maybe you're a sadist.
Probably.
A masochist. That's what it is. A masochist.
Yes.
I
knew what you
pain.
meant. But, hi, kitty.
What's one of those? They're all similar.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I know what you mean. It's a booty shot. Everyone, behold the full moon.
Cats do that all the time.
I know.
No, like whenever The Birds is on
boy.
TV, my mom always like turns it on there, and I'm like, why? Why do you do that? I'd rather watch any other Hitchcock movie than that.
Oh.
Because most of his movies, aside from Psycho and The Birds, are like thrillers. At least from what I've seen, because I've seen quite a few of his movies. Psycho and The Birds are considered the horror ones. Whereas, I mean, the others are called horror movies, but I consider them more thrillers because, yes, there's murder and yes, there's those kinds of things, but they're not as gruesome as The Birds and Psycho. I mean, The Birds, I feel, is the most gruesome of all of his movies.
Yeah.
Because there's literally scenes where they show, like, they pan through a room, and you see a person there with its eyes gouged out.
And blood all over.
Yes. if that's not gruesome, then I don't know what is. In terms of older movies.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought out of all the creepy stuff that we saw in the Vision Fear things, Iris was the creepiest.
Oh, yeah! That was... Yeah, because she was, like, doing those things that they show in horror movies where they're making those... They have those cracking noises, and they're, like, coming back together and, like, reforming and, like...
Yeah, but she didn't even fully reform. Like, her head was still tilted.
Yeah, but they're, like, zombie-like.
Yeah.
And they're, like... You know, they have the black eyes and everything. Yeah. That was creepy.
Yes. Well.
Next week, Cisco and Chester get stuck in 1998. It's called The One with the 90s.
Dude.
I'm so excited.
They get stuck when we were 7.
Well, 1991 is 30 years ago, so... I will be 30 in 14 days.
Yeah. I'm already there.
I know.
But yeah. So, it's just...
I mean, I was too young to really experience the 90s. But what I mean is that the 90s is just really coming back in a lot of forms right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like in art and music and clothing and fashion. Like, we're seeing those styles reemerge.
Right.
And so, you know, and usually that happens about every couple decades. I mean, the 90s is 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, the 70s is like 50 years. The 80s is 40. Like, it's, you know.
But I don't think you're ever going to see kids dye their hair with Kool-Aid again.
Please, God, no.
Makes the hair taste
I mean,
good.
we do see acid wash jeans again. Like,
yes.
a little bit. We're seeing high-waisted jeans and shorts. We're seeing crop tops again. We're seeing scrunchies again. Like, we're seeing denim and all that. Like, that's all coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I mean, the mismatched colors of the 90s aren't necessarily coming back. Because that was horrid.
It was.
But all the other
Jake
awesome
has a sweater
stuff,
like that.
all the other awesome stuff from the 90s is coming back.
On Saturdays, Dad full on asked, who's got the pink jacket? One of his sleeves is pink. Now there's like this green color, and then you got like white and yellow on the hood. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like a 90s sweater. Where the fuck did you get that?
And I mean, like 70s and 80s, you can kind of see like those styles mixed into a little bit.
Mhm.
Because 80s was very much about like the neon and like the bright colors and like, you know, that was also denim and scrunchies and things like that too.
The 90s also had the windbreakers that you could fold into the pocket and become a pillow.
Yeah.
I had that for airplane rides. It was my favorite. It was my favorite windbreaker.
I mean, there's literally a brand at Target called Wild Fable that like all of their clothing looks like 90s clothing. It's like high-waisted pants and shorts and crop tops and like checkered plaid stuff and like denim and all that.
Yeah.
It's like Clueless stuff. Like you watch the movie Clueless, it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Rudd is in that movie. A young Paul Rudd.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, when people think of the 90s, that's like one of the movies that they think of.
Yeah, it's just, I got away with never seeing it.
Also Pretty Woman.
I love that movie.
And Titanic. Pretty Woman is a great movie, yes.
But yeah, so
90s!
90s!
It'll probably be a filler episode, but it will be fun!
Yes.
They probably will still address some stuff.
I'm wondering how the hell they get stuck in the past.
It's a time portal.
Yeah?
I don't know how they get stuck.
Did they freaking steal the bubble machine from the From the vault.
I don't know.
Like, because we know Barry didn't run them to the 90s.
Wow.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Cisco and Chester travel back in time and get stuck in 1998, repeating the same day over and over again.
Oh, it's even fucking Groundhog's Day, too!
The key to returning home is at Chester's childhood home, but he refuses to visit. Meanwhile, Iris forges a connection with the Speed Force.
Well, she did used to have it, so. I can't wait.
So, it's related to Chester's childhood.
Well, I mean, he does have, like, that weird black hole-like ability.
Yeah, they can't go back until he
deals with childhood trauma.
Yeah, confronts that.
So maybe it's a new aspect of his abilities that kicked in, and they just got the shit end of the stick.
Maybe.
I mean, really, though, it's the 90s. That's not the shit end. That's, like, so good.
And 1998 specifically. Like, what's so special about that year?
Maybe it's the year that shit really went down in his life.
Maybe. I just think of, like, freaking Backstreet Boys and NSYNC for 1998.
Alright.
Yes.
Like, who thought that was a good dance move?
Bye bye bye.
Like, who thought that this was a good dance move?
It's gonna bye my.
Oh,
I can't.
Britney Spears was on Disney Channel. Like,
It was Justin Timberlake.
I know.
They were in the new Mickey Mouse Club together.
Yes. Like, the Brink movie.
Oh my God.
The good movies that came out before all this shit.
All the Disney Channel movies of the late 90s and early 2000s were the best.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But yeah.
Okay. So,
Until next time,
keep believing in the impossible.